project, 5 to 10 second video that you must shoot yourself. So the first thing I'm going to do is on my desktop I have an image here, I'm sorry, a video, short video of my son from, this is like three or 4 years ago, okay, throwing the bottle, and this happens to be a slow motion video, okay, but it's still, this one's about 12, 13, 14, let's see. Yeah, this is about a 20-second video. So this is actually quite a bit longer than I need yours to be. All right? But I can still use it. It's totally fine. So even though mine right now is larger, we're still going to use it. So here's the video. What's the next step? Well, you're going to go to Google Classroom, go to Classwork, scroll down to Project 6. Then when you get to the Rotoscope project, there's a link in there that says video to JPEG. You're going to click that. Now, once it brings us to that site, this is the video to JPEG converter. We're then going to click Choose File. When we click on Choose File, it's going to ask us where the video is. I'm going to click on that bottle flip video, and then I'm going to hit Open. Hopefully this works like today. Okay, good. So then once you have it there and it says the title of it, then you just at the bottom here you have to click, you have to click Upload Video. Upload Video. So I'm going to click Upload Video. Don't worry, please select URL for upload. No, I think that's all fine. Wait, what happened? Converter. All right, so let's see what happened there. Let's go back. Choose File. Oh. I might have made one little error here. No, that's fine. Okay, so do you see that it says max file size is 100 megabytes? This one that I'm trying to do is only 52 megabytes, so it should be totally fine. I'm going to click that one. I'm going to hit Open. Okay, and then I'm going to hit Upload Video. Okay, so I must have just hit a click before that wasn't quite right. You can see that it is working. It's going a little slow, but it is converting up here in the top. You can see it's spinning. Let's give it a moment. There we go. Okay, so it shows the video. Then right below it, it tells you the file size with all the dimensions and everything. Here, the start time. Start time is 0 seconds. And then the end time, I'm going to make sure it goes all the way to the end of this thing. And the video was, and I could always look back at the original video, like this, right? And I can see how long it was. Oh, 22 seconds total. Okay, so when I go back to here, end time 22 seconds, so from 0 to 22 seconds. Size, original is fine. Frame rate, I'm going to do 5 for max of 30 seconds, okay? 5. And then I'm going to hit Convert to JPEG. So you see very quickly it took care of it, and now it's showing you all of the JPEGs in a row here as I scroll down frame by frame. When I go all the way to the bottom, by the time I get all the way to the bottom here, just give it a second to catch up to us. You'll see all of them. And here at the very bottom, this is the last frame, right? It says download frames as a zip. So we're going to do that. And then it asks me where I want to put that. I can put to my downloads folder. I can call it, bottle flip. And I don't need to hide the extension. So it's a zip file. Put it to my downloads. Hit save. And then I can get out of this site. I don't need the site anymore now that I downloaded the zip. Okay, now what I need to do though is go into my downloads folder. Find, so here's my downloads folder. Here's the bottle flip zip, right? I'm going to double click it. Open it up. If you have a PC, it's a similar process, right? It just happens to be a Mac, but okay. Bottle flip. So if I double click this bottle flip folder, you'll see that in this folder there are now, how many images are in here? So it broke it down into 110 images. Now remember, my video was 22 seconds. twice the amount that I need yours to be. You only have to do 10 seconds or even 5. So yours is going to be much smaller. But mine's 110. That's way, way too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose every third one. All right? So it's like I'm breaking it in thirds. So watch this. I'm going to choose number 1. I'm going to hold the command key. You can hold the control key if you're working on a PC. So I'm going to go number 4, and then 1, 2, this one, 1, 2, this one, 1, 2, this one, 1, 2. So I'm only using, you know, every third one basically, leaving 2 in between every time. This will save me from doing too many. So I'm definitely skipping frames by doing this, but it's still going to work. If I did every single frame and drew every frame, then when we played it back, it would obviously be much smoother, right? But so it'll be a tiny bit choppy, but it'll definitely still work. Okay, I'm almost done. All right, so I got every third one. You see that, guys? Every third one. Now what I want to do is I'm actually going to take those. I want to put them in their own folder. So I'm actually going to right-click and put them in a new folder. All right. So when I go back now and I look at my downloads, where did it put them is the question. I'll probably put it in the folder in here. Yeah, okay, here at the bottom. So I'm putting them in a brand new folder just so that they're organized somewhere a little different. Okay, images to use. Okay, so there it is. I'm putting it in my downloads folder. I just want to be able to see it separately from everything. So here it is right here. Okay, so now I go into Photopea.com. Now this is the one I had been working on from yesterday with the image of Denzel from this one. And this is what I have so far, right? I had this image that I had drawn like this, and then here was the second image, and then here's the third image, and then here's the fourth image, which I didn't finish yet. All right, but here's how you start the whole project. You go to File. I'm actually gonna. I'll close this. Save. All right, File and New inside of Photopea. Then what I want you to do, I'm going to zoom into this. The size. You're going to go to first the name. Now you're going to call this Rotoscope. You can call it. You put your name after it. Or Rotoscope 1 is fine. Then the width is going to be 11 inches. We'll start with that. The height 8.5 inches, and the resolution. Now, if we keep it at 300, I think it's going to be a little hard because we're working online. It might be a little laggy, slow, and I don't want it to get all messed up and glitch on you at all. So let's do 150 for the DPI. A white background is fine, and I'm going to hit Create. So I got this new white artboard up on my page. The next step that I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to these images like this. Now you have two options here. I could double click this images to use option, right, which is, the folder, which has all of those images in it. How many images do I have right now? I have 37 total. All right, that's not too bad, 37. Now I can click, hold, drag and drop all 37 of these like this directly into here and hold shift and then let go of the mouse. And you see that it's loading, you can see it loading each one in one at a time. Now again, my video is a little bit different, not just because it's longer, but because it was in slow motion already, which might be helpful for the drawing purposes of this thing. So you could do yours in slow motion too, it's up to you. But you do not have to. All right, so it's putting all of the images in. And you see each time it adds a new JPEG, it's making a brand new layer and stacking it on top over here on the right-hand side where all the layers are. Okay, it looks like it's done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the checkbox up top, this checkbox right here. This confirms everything, the size and the placement. Okay, that looks good. Now I have a lot of extra white space here. That's okay, no big deal. I'm going to take the crop tool, and then what I want to do is I want to start at the top corner, click and drag down like this, and select just my image. And then we're going to confirm it again. Hit the checkbox up top or hit enter on your keyboard. And it's going to crop it now. So all that white space is gone. Right? I hit the checkbox. Everything looks good. And you can see my layers here on the side as I scroll down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away the eyeball icon next to every layer for now, except for this first one that I have here at the bottom. So I'm just eliminating the eyeballs. That's just the visibility icon, if you remember from Photoshop. Lets you see what's on the layer, but we're kind of hiding it for now. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. So this first layer right here, it named it EG GIF Frame 1. Now, I could leave it like that. That's totally fine. It doesn't matter. But you see they do go in order. Even though I skipped, it goes from 1 to 4 to 7 to 10 to 13, boom, 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 boom. And what we have to do is we have to start drawing, right? Now, in this video, can someone tell me what's the one thing that as the video plays does not move? What's the one thing that really doesn't move? Anybody tell me? Anybody? Anybody?
The wall.
The walls. Yes, the walls, the lockers. They don't really move, or they're not really supposed to be moving. So those you can draw one time. You don't have to draw them over and over. You draw that one time. But my son, he's moving, and the bottle's moving, obviously, right? So I'm going to, again, hide all these layers. All right. So this first layer, this one that says frame 1, I'm going to click on it. Then up at the top of the layers panel here where it says opacity, I'm going to bring that down to a 40 and hit return. And you see it gets much lighter on the screen. If you find that 40 is too low, you could always go to 50 or 60. It's really up to you. All right. And then what we need to do is we need to make a new layer on top of this frame by hitting the new layer button right here, right next to the trash can. Click it one time. It grabs a new layer. Now, we could call it drawing 1, layer 1, whatever makes sense to you, drawing 1. And then on this layer now, we are going to start to draw. Don't worry about the background, right? Because we said that the background's going to stay solid the whole time. So we can draw that at the end. Let's just worry about what's moving right now. So I'm going to go over to the brush tool on the toolbar. Click on the brush. Choose the brush. Go up to the top. Choose a brush size that I think is going to work. This one looks a little, let's see. That one looks okay, actually, at a 2 size. That's fine. I'm going to put by blending mode at normal, opacity at 100, flow at 100, smoothness you can play with. I'm going to leave it at 0 for right now. And then I am going to start to draw. So, just as always, if you remember from Photoshop, zoom in. View, zoom in, or Command plus on your keyboard to zoom in, right? Zoom in a few times. And then you start to draw. Now, this could take a little bit of time, obviously. This is the part that takes time. But we're going to do some tricks along the way that are going to help us. So it's like this, right? Use the brush. Make sure you stay on the drawing layer. It'll only let you draw on the drawing layer. Right? So you start to draw. You get as much detail as you can. But like I said before, if you want to change stuff, this is your opportunity to be creative and change things. You know, I don't have to stick exactly to what I see. I can, but I do not have to. Right? Now, you're going to do all kinds of mess ups and mistakes, so you can always switch back to the eraser tool. You can erase whatever you want, and then you can go back to your brush and continue with your brush. Now, all of those layers that I originally brought in from the JPEGs, you see that they all have a little, so I'm just going to continue to draw for a second. I would do it in little bits at a time. Feel like you're accomplishing some stuff. All right. If you want to do a straight line, click once, hold shift, and then click again. It makes a straight line. So like here, I click once, let go, hold shift, click again, it makes a straight line. So if you want any straight lines, that's the way to do it. So like here, for example, I mean, I wouldn't do this to this one, but I have creative freedom here. So I'm at the bottom of his hair. What could I do with his hair? Could I do something weird and strange and wacky with his hair? Of course I could. You can add whatever you want to this. You do not have to keep it the way that it originally looked. That's the whole point of you doing rotoscoping, is that you can really add your own creativity to it. All right. Okay, and you continue like that. Now, once you've done one frame of this, I'm not going to waste time in the video continuing to draw, but once you've done one frame, then what you're going to do is hide that frame, go to the next one, which in this case is number 4 over here in the layers panel, right over here. Turn that one on, same steps, change the opacity to 50 or 40, whatever works for you, and then make a brand new layer on top of that one. Call this one, this now is going to be drawing number 2, and again you're going to draw. Now if the change wasn't very much between those two frames, between, like, for example 1 and 4 for me, well then maybe like here. So this was number 1, this is number 2. 1, 2. So in mine there's not much of a change. Do you see that, guys? You see my frame 1 is the only thing that's showing right now. If I go to frame 4 and I turn on frame 4, I don't really, other than it getting darker, I don't see any change in the movement. So you know what? I can get rid of 4. If there's no change, there's no sense in really drawing it again. If I drew the whole thing and I could copy my drawing layer again, you know, and just keep it, but it doesn't make sense. It didn't move at all. So I'm going to get rid of this one, number 4. Now let's see, did it move by number 7? Yeah, there's a slight move in number 7, or even by number 10. So I'm going to get rid of 7 too. So you can get rid of as many as you need. And here I'm going to bring drawing 2 on top of frame 10. All right, so frame 10, bring it down to 50%. Hit OK. And we're good to start drawing on layer 2 now. So it's the same steps over and over, and then at the end we'll put in the background for it. The example that I started working with yesterday, which I'll open now very quickly, hopefully this will make some more sense to you. And then I will help you as you go. If you get stuck with anything, just let me know. Here's an example from yesterday. Right, so in this one, same sort of thing. Here was the first layer I brought down to 40%. You see 40% for frame 1. On top of it, I made drawing layer 1. I made drawing layer 1 right here. Right? And then I drew on this layer. So I'm going to turn it on. So you can see I fully drew that one. This is what it looks like without the image underneath it. Right? Then the next layer, you see that there is movement. You see how the ball moves? So I knew I need to draw that. So I'm going to hide this for a sec. Hide this for a sec. So number 2 frame, this is number 2 frame showing, and then here's number 2 drawing. Right? So if you just saw the drawings, it would be 1, 2. You can see the change here. It's really just the ball and a little bit of his neck are moving. And then again, number 3, same thing. Start drawing on it. And you can see the change there. There's a whole shift. It goes from, you know, right, 1, 2, 3. And you see little movements in each of the drawings. Now I didn't color these in yet, but it's well on its way. So if I continue like that, this is only 19, so you'll only be drawing, you know, 19 frames. I know it's a lot of drawing, but when it comes together at the end, it looks really nice. If you want to do more than that, you're more than welcome. But those are basically the setup for it. At the very end, you can create a brand new layer, drag that layer all the way to the bottom here on top of the background. and you can make it whatever you want. You know, if you want to make it, like in this case, he's outside shooting, so I could put a sky. And then you could go onto this and draw whatever you want, and that can stay the same depending on how you want it to look. You could even bring in an image at the end online and drop that in the background as well. All right? And that's simply just finding an image online like this, like clouds, for example. Now, I mean, you want to make your background interesting, but I'm just doing this to give you an example. And you do clouds. And then go to images. So you find an image of clouds, click on it, and then drag it in, drop it. Alright, increase the size of it. Now it looks a little strange now because I did not yet color in my my drawing that I did of Denzel in this one. You know, but that could totally stay there in the background, and that could just sit there the whole time. Any of these layers, also the only other thing is you'll see this little icon on each of the layers when you bring them in like this. These are smart object icons. You can get rid of them just by right-clicking and then going to rasterize. You can do that for all of them. All right, and that'll also make your file a bit smaller. And that's basically the deal.